Hello, my name is Kevin Barry. I'm a chartered accountant and Platinum QuickBooks advisor. I'm on the online QuickBooks myself, and you'll find details about us on our website, barryaccountants.ie, and our YouTube channel and Twitter. Okay, so first thing I'm going to say is this tutorial is for people who are just new to QuickBooks. I'm going to show you how to set it up correctly and all the features that you need to know about, and you'll be able to use them if you feel it's appropriate to your business. Okay, the one thing I will say though, it'll change your life for the better. All right, you won't be going around with an office full of paper and purchase invoices and statements and bank statements. All of that is now gone. All right, the shelves, the filing cabinets full of paper, and then as your documents age every 6-7 years that you need to move them somewhere and rent another shed or find a back room or an attic to put them into, that's also gone, because you'll be able to keep all the records you need to keep on QuickBooks. So it's very cost effective that way, very eco-friendly. Okay, so also when it comes to dealing with your own accountant, if he or she is looking for anything, they should be able to log in online and get it. All right, so you shouldn't have to go routing. You won't be worrying the night before tax deadlines that have you given them everything. Also, if you do your sales invoices by hand or you have till receipts, you can scan and put them in here as well. All right, so, but basically it'll free you up, it'll free your accountant and bookkeeper up to do more valuable work for you. And that's really what it's about, because you get your best ideas when you're off and you don't want to be weighed down with bookkeeping. And this QuickBooks is great. So if you're new to it, I'm going to show you the right way and you won't look back. All right. So what I've done is I've set up a fake company, but it's based on reality. All right, it's called the Coffee House, and I've just set it up here. And as soon as you log on to QuickBooks, it's going to ask you this question that's up here right now. Okay, so there it is, the Coffee House. It could be a sole trader, partnership. It's generally a sole trader or limited company, sometimes a partnership, and every now and again you'll run into these guys. Okay, so we're going to pick sole trader in this case. How long have you been in business? Let's just say 1 to 2 years, just to give a profile on it. And what's our line of business? And we'll just look down here for something that, okay, retail, trade, food and beverage. You go next. Okay, wait that moment. Now what do we want to do? We want to send and track invoices because there's different people coming in, organize our expenses. VAT is massively improved to the Irish version. It's going to knock your socks off and you won't stress that much about it. Okay, track your retail sales, pay your employees, manage your stock, track your bills. In this case, you want to do everything. Okay, so let's get going. So that brings it over. Now this won't go on forever. There it is. All of a sudden we've got the Coffee House. So this is the dashboard, and we're going to start here. Now I'm going to walk you through the basics of setting up QuickBooks. Okay, so no matter what happens, if you hit any of these buttons, I'm going to show you a couple more. This one here, the plus sign with new in it, and you get lost, just head for this dashboard. It's always going to be here at the top of the bottom left. All right, it's a great refuge. Okay, so on screen here anyway, down, okay, you hit dashboard and we've seen a few graphs. Now there's nothing in here yet. So 0 income, 0 expenses. That'll change throughout this webinar. There's the last 30 days, and we can kind of modify these depending on what we want. So that's the last 30 days. You might want it the last 12 months. And you'll see it evolve in a few moments. Same with this. Okay. And also if I click on here, it'll actually bring me up the money version. All right. But this is empty at the moment. I'm lost again. We're back to dashboard. But items to do with banking and connecting the banks is coming down the line. So what we're going to show you here now is a dashboard, where to find help, how to connect your bank and why that's important, how to set up your chart of accounts, VAT, we're going to look at sales invoices and customer, people who owe you, all right, expenses, suppliers, all that area, reconciliation with primarily the bank accounts, okay, various reports, the super reports on this, and then we'll get to managing your stock. If stock is important to you, that can be handled here. Keeping track of your employees, what they're working on, and billable time and expenses. Fantastic feature. And if you have a different project, we can set up here a different project to keep track of what it's costing. Okay, the money might come in later, but let's see what's gone into it first, all right? So that's what we're going to run through. Okay, so we're still at the setup point. So this little cog over here is a place where we're going to just have a good look inside it. It's an area you come back to every now and again. So just a few things. Managing users is adding other people to it, like your accountants, like your co-workers. Accounts and settings, I'm going to start there. So this is a coffee house. I'll be up and down in a moment. Okay, so let's start with advanced. Now we deal with the euro here. You might want to set up a logo, and that'll appear at various points. So let's get that first. So I have one ready here, and always nice to have a little logo ready to go, because it will stand to you. Okay, people will recognize it, follow it, brand it. Okay, so that comes up in a moment, and that'll appear on our sales invoices and other documents if we want to. Just tick a box. Okay, so whatever the name of your business is, set it up here. Okay, put in your VAT number. You'll need it. It'll come up on your sales invoices. Okay, we've got our address here, your email address. Okay, and that's fine. So that's now done. We look at sales. A few of these will be important at the moment. I'm actually going to design our sales invoice first. Okay, and it's what information you might want on there. Okay, so you see, we're going to dive in with a template. We'll pick this Airy Classic. I want to put some color on there. Okay, I'm going to put your bank details. So do we want to mention deposits? If we don't, let's put in the bank details. So in this case, it's AIB, and our SWIFT code might be AIB. I know it in my head, and the IBAN. Basically, you want to get paid. Okay, and anything that makes it easier for the customer to pay you, you want to go with that. Okay, so we'll say it's AIB 937847345 Okay, so there it is. He's paid soon. He's paid today. Can't be directness. So these are the type of items that can go on your invoice. And you can make it bigger. You can begin to see it here. Let's say new outlets opening soon. And you have your website there, because that's where people will generally look you up first. Okay, so there's that. If you're going to be sending them emails, here's your invoice. You pre-take your payment. So it comes pre-set up. Certainly, one of the first things to do is make sure you can get paid. And there's the details you can add and take away on these details. Okay, so if you want to include quantity and weights, basically we have everything we need here. Okay, and let's say include the description there. All right. So there you are, and we'll just have a little preview. Now we're only at this a minute or two, and we're already designed the sales invoice. Okay. Let's come to design there. Okay, I'm going to click show logo. It's got even better. So all of a sudden, you know, you want an invoice that gets attention, you want people to pay it. So we've done that now in a flash. Didn't take anything. Okay, so this is all part of the account setup. All right, so when you land it on the dashboard, you can see there's a lot going on, but you go up to that cog at the start and get this out of the way. Then you're back on this again, and other items. I'm just going to show you the important items on the setup, because over time you learn the rest. So a chart of accounts is when you get a bill, I do a sale. You want, let's say the bill is for materials or repairs on your equipment. You wanted to put it in the right place, because if it goes into the right place on the setup, it means when your accountant gets a hold of it, number one, he'll understand it and advise you better. And secondly, they won't have to do any rearranging. It's like going into a room, rearranging all the furniture. They won't have to do any of that. It's all perfect from the start. So they're talking straight about tax minimization, maybe issues what you want to do with money in the bank, Is there some recruitment items you want to start budgeting for? You know, you're able to look at the future. So it brings up a chart of accounts, which is based on what it expects a business that's a retail food and beverage business to need. So you'll find as we're putting in bills, they'll find the way into this, which builds the profit and loss and balance sheet. Okay, it's that one. Recurring transactions has got to do with if you want stuff that goes through every month to be recorded like that, we'll do that. So what we sell, you'll see these will start to populate. So it'll be coffees, teas, buns. I'm going to click on all this here for a minute. So you can see the type of stuff. There's your chart of accounts. There's the stuff that goes through every month, those transactions, different products and services. If I even just look in there, I want to add one, I can do it here, but it's very easy to do it along the way as well, okay? So I'll just add in coffees here for the crack. Say it's, just say coffees. Gourmet coffees, how about that? Okay, and effectively specialty coffees like your mochas. We can put in the price here. Let's just say it's $3.80, and we do purchase it in as well. Okay, and that's all I need in there. Okay, just looking around. So if we, attachments, you'll see how those work in a minute. It's got to do with your purchase invoices and other documents. Importing or exporting data has got to do with bringing it in from a different entity. So if you're setting up and you have all your customer names and addresses and emails, we can import them here. Okay, so you get all the right names, addresses. I'll just click on that and you go here to a CSV or Excel and it sucks them in. It's a real-time saver. The same will go with your suppliers, various products you're at. Fantastic. Okay. Back here as well. So the audit log, that's one for your accountant to be aware of. Just they can see what's happened while they've been away. You can see what's happened while you've been away. And if I just click in, and even at the moment, you can see I've been changing settings and it's following me like a hawk. There's nowhere to hide. So that's the main items now on the setup for the moment. Okay. So just when you land back, I'm going to just click on dashboard because it's very easy to click something and go out of the way. So those setup items that I was up here for, okay. Accounts and settings is always where you start. And okay, so we have the company stuff set up. We digress stuff into the customized look and feel, just get the sales invoice out of the way. Okay. And if there's other items here relevant to you, but basically we're fine there at the moment. Do we use purchase orders, make expenses and items billable? I'm going to click yes on that because we'll be coming to it later. Okay, click it there. Track expenses by customer is going to go with those. You'll see why in a little while. So just while we're here. The type of accounts we're on, is it accrual or is it cash? So I like accrual, but cash is when you're paid, you pay the VAT. When you pay your bills, you pay the VAT. And if there's any historical items, so we're going to start from January to December, which is most ones anyway. We're sole proprietor, yeah. Track classes, no, we won't do that here. That's if you have different elements in the business, like different departments. So they might have a coffee department, a food department, but we're not going to bog ourselves down here with that. Projects, I'm going to put projects on because we want to have a look at that in a little while, and that'll stay there. It's just worrying for a moment. So we're going to go with the euro. If you click multi-currency, if you're buying and selling in different currencies, we'll convert them to euro for you and all that, but you can't unclick that. So our date order is fine, and yeah. So let's click done. Okay, so when you've done that, you're really on the road here. But you'll find as we further set it up, there'll be other little tweaks that we'll be getting going on. So if you get lost, there's no one there to help you. Okay, this help section in the QuickBooks Ireland version is really improved. Previously, we were on this global version and you'd have to email away for help. But now There's a couple of places you can go. And click contact. So you put in your question. You see here, let's talk. And let's just say it was set up. Okay. So go off there now, and quick enough, they're back to me. Now, there's a few examples here. They'll suggest what your answer might be, and most of the time it's there. But if it's something personal to you and you're just not getting it, okay, if you go post a question, it brings you to a Facebook place, and they're excellent on there. They'll message you back. You can post your question, they'll come back to you. If you want to chat with someone, start a chat, put in your details. Okay, there's the browser there. They'll ask your names, and straight away somebody will be on to talk to you. So let's test it. Let's go hi. But they will come on, and sometimes they'll even operate your computer for you. Okay, but that wasn't there previously, and that's a major enhancement. Okay, to know that there's someone there to give you a hand all the time. Okay, yeah, and they want to help me there today. All right, so that help section is fantastic. All right, so there we go. So anyway, we'll come back here. So the main places you're going to find yourself navigating is either on this plus item. So this is my favorite. So if you're going to do a sales invoice, or someone is paying you that you've given an invoice to, okay, those two will be the busiest. If you want to do an estimate or a quotation, credit note, hopefully you don't have to issue too many of those. Okay, and these are receipts just for payments. Okay, but certainly the first two there in particular are flyers. Then, now if there's a bill, it's an important one. The expense is where you're kind of paying something and there might not be a bill, such as a bank charge or wages, right? It's just money out of your account and it's gone straight into those classifications. But if you are receiving bills, okay, you enter the bills and then you pay them. You can't pay a bill unless you have it, in theory. But you might have it in the front of your car and you've paid the guy, but you've got to put it into QuickBooks. So put the bills in, and then when the money is coming out, it'll go against them. All right, so I'm just showing you this, and we'll come back to it in a moment. Purchase orders lead to a bill. Supplier credits is you getting some time off. This is where you keep track of time. Okay, and we're just going for this plus here. So you've all this information in behind. A bank deposit is for lodging money other than customer money. So it could be a loan you've got, or a repayment of a loan, but money that's come in, like a VAT refund, and it's come into the bank, but it's not customer money. If it was customer money, it would have gone receive payment. All right. Journal entries for last minute adjustments, generally done by your accountant. Make sure you know about them. Items would be accruing for audit fees. There could be repairs. There's a guy up on the roof hammering away. He's going to give us a bill, we think, for about 2,000 if we want to allow for it. That's where the journal entry comes in. Issuing statements, and then some inventory and pay down credit card items here. But there's a lot in there, but you don't need all of them every day, because you should need the invoice, the receipt payments, expenses. Writing a check is just that, writing a check. Okay. So just to show you that. So, and down the side here then, that's our other items. So I'll start at the bottom. Let's change the way we're going here. And so there's the accountant. You can leave him some notes there. Okay, the chart of accounts is a map around your accounts. All right, taxes. I'll come to those now momentarily. Reports, profit and loss balance sheets, analyzed by time, profitability project reports, what projects we set up, sales, who your customers are, and we're going to enter these in, expenses and their suppliers, banking, connecting the bank. That is fantastic. It's my favorite, revolutionary. Okay, an overview. Okay, a lot of graphs in here in the overview. A picture tells 1,000 words. Okay, and as we, okay, that's a nice little help, isn't it? Just for me. And just different performance metrics, you know. So when you look at this, it hasn't really built up yet, but we'll come back to this in a little while, and you'll see as it builds up to interest in sales. Okay, so onward. So the next thing we're going to look at is connecting your bank. All right. So now all the Irish banks are on here now. Previously, they weren't there, and it meant you'd have to either manually enter in the lodgements and payments, or convert them to a CSV file. That's another ordeal, and upload them and allocate them. So very manual. All right. So I've just clicked banking here, all right, and connect account. So this upload is if you're dealing with CSV, but forget that. You want to go this connect. So let's look who's on here. Look, AIB, Bank of Ireland, and Ulster Bank. I mean, I think nearly all of us are dealing with one of those. Okay, and Ulster Bank only came on there last week. AIB's been on a while. Bank of Ireland came on roughly a month ago. So they're adding all the time. So I'm going to click on AIB here and show you how easy it is. And this is only an example. So agree with everything. The way it handles this, the bank transmit the details to QuickBooks. And so it's not like the QuickBooks is going in, messing with your money or anything like that. Okay, so every couple of days it'll update, and every 90 days, okay, it'll ask you to reconnect. So this iBusiness Banking, there's two ways with AIB. So you might have a little purple box like this, and you put in your details. So I'm going to show you how that works. So there's mine, for instance. And I'm going to put in my password. I know you can't see it, okay? And then you put in a little code from this code book, which is only personal to me, but many business owners have it, okay? When you do that, it talks to the bank. I do that right there. See how she goes. Oh, first faux pas. Let's try it again. What happens when you overrush, isn't it? So you put in your details, your password, and the code. Never save that. Okay, and it's talking to AIB, and it's got all my accounts there. Okay, you see that? So you connect up your business account. Now I'm going to undo that. And see this here, consent for 90 days. Okay, so I unclicked that. The other way is you put in a PAC code. You know, if it's a personal account you have, just the way you set them up. Agree again. But it is that quick. And every 90 days it will disconnect. Sometimes you might find with a bank upgrade or a QuickBooks security check, it disconnects anyway, and you've got to reset it, but it's only momentarily. So there's the PAC code where you put in your registration number, and then you put in a PAC code. So that's AIB. But the same system goes for Bank of Ireland. Okay. And the great thing is, it'll put all the lodgements into the accounts here, and it'll put all of the payments out into the accounts here. So there you are again with AIB. And Ulster Bank is the same as that. Okay. So that's how simple that is. This rules here, when it brings all the transactions down and puts them in a waiting room, and it'll attempt to match it up with the bills. So you'll see when the bills are in, it'll aim to match it up and say this money could be to Vodafone. It's paying that for 110 euros. It's paying that bill for Vodafone for 110 euros. So it'll put the money against the bill it paid. That's the first thing. If there isn't a bill in there, it'll ask you what it is. So I'll use the word bank charges as an example. So if there's bank charges coming through, we tell it every time you see CHG, which could be the word charge, and perhaps AIB or BOI beside it, or Ulster Bank, always put it into bank charges. So you set it up that it'll always put certain phrases it recognizes into certain places. It could be a loan repayment, a lease repayment. You get the idea. So it'll start doing the work, and the more you program it, and this only takes moments, okay? There's the rules, okay? And you'll have a list of rules here that will, as it says there, save you time, all right? Connecting the banks, let's hit the dashboard, come back to where we were. We're going again. So the chart of accounts is where we want to put items. And when I start entering, so this looks fine, all right? You're going to have bank accounts there. So say you want to add an item. I'm going to add a bank account here. Okay, so let's call it business bank account. And this is what you would connect, and that's today's date. So let's go back to the start of the year and put €1,000 in it. Okay, don't need anything else there on that one. And you will see it. There it is, right there. €1,000. Just that's what we were at the start of the year. I'm going to go down just certain things I might want to see. And we're going to go down to the sales area. Okay. And they've got 3 great items there. So I'm going to edit the wholesale one. Okay, and just call it coffees. Everything else is fine. Leave that there. The retail, actually, just move it around a little bit. Yeah, it'll give you a little warning to say, oh, it might affect something, but that's okay. We know what we're doing. Okay. So we go up here, there's the sales coffees. And then we'll go here and we'll say the sales of product income and retail. Okay, we'll call this cakes. Okay, so now we have our coffees and cakes. There they are, 2 retail sales. And there may be other items you want to put in here and it'll really appear in the profit and loss account. Okay, so the sales invoice, while I was doing the setup, I actually set up the sales invoice. So we're going to create a customer and do actually a sales invoice now. So you go into the plus, you'll find yourself in on this plus nearly all the time. And by the way, if this little menu is in your way, you just click here, comes out of the way. Click here, comes back in the way. Wonderful. So if you get lost, hit dashboard, brings you to the familiar. It's like coming back out into the lobby of the hotel. All right, let's do an invoice. So it's going to come up now, all very exciting. And let's just say that Leo Radgar with his entourage, nice guy. Okay, and I'm going to set up an email from. Could be very handy. So there's Leo Radgar. If he's a VAT number, good and well, but generally, you know, these are just members of the public. You're not looking for the VAT number in this case, but you would if it was a more corporate customer. I'm going to put in an email from. Okay. So email or phone number. .com. Okay, so say he was in today. If you hit the letter T, it brings up today's date. Okay, we're going to sell him some gourmet coffees. Remember we set that up? Straight away, it's got an invoice from here. He's just sold them the one, all right? But let's just say he had his entourage with him, 20 people, 380, €76. Okay. Now I haven't come to the VAT yet, but we'll come back to that. And invoice number 1. So there it is. I've done that invoice. So we've just set up. So a great way to get paid these days is to save and share the WhatsApp. Now let's really look at this one. And so a fantastic new feature is, okay, we can save the invoice, you can print it out, okay? So you see here, print preview. Okay, so the old way, remember you're online now. There's our bank details, please pay today. There's the bill. So you wouldn't do this in the coffee shop, but you might WhatsApp it to someone right there or send them the bill because there's an event, or you get the idea. There's loads of reasons and everyone's going to look at a WhatsApp. That's how nice the invoice is. So you can download it, you can email it. Just wait from there for a minute. But here, bottom right are all the options. Save and close, because they don't want the bill. Save and new, you do another one. Save and share link, you email them the bill with this link, okay? And they click the link and it brings up. Just email them right there, that link, copy link. Okay, I'll show you what that does. And this will come to them, paste and go. Brings up the bill, see that? And then you connect this to PayPal and they'll pay. Or, which is really what I wanted to show you, was you got the WhatsApp link. This is the best of the whole lot. So there it is. Save that, share and close. Dear Leo Varadkar, here's your bill basically. And it does that. So what you do is you open WhatsApp on your phone. I've got my trusty iPhone, but it'll work on any smartphone. Okay, you click on settings, which is right there. And then the WhatsApp web. which on mine, if you're able to see it, okay, is right at the top. Okay. Okay, and I scan the QR code, which is right there. So when I do that, I'm just looking for that code there on the screen. It's scanning it right now. And it's going to bring up the internals of my phone on the screen here. Okay, that's how quick it was, and off it goes. So I send that message. I don't actually have his number there now. Would be great if I did. All right, and off it goes, and that's the WhatsApp gone. All right, so we'll just come away from here now. Take this down, and we'll move neatly. So they've got the bill there on their invoice. Okay. Then okay. So great way to get the bills out to them. Okay. So we'll say that. So that's how that goes. And the sales invoices, just save and close. Now you come back to your dashboard. Things are starting to happen now. Okay, we've now got a 76 bill out there. See that? All of a sudden. And there's items are happening here with our graphs. We did the last 30 days. Okay, we're getting sales out now. And that will come up on the app on your phone. So if you're on the Google Play Store or the App Store, just download the QuickBooks app and the same login codes will work here. I said that at the outset as well. Okay, there's our bank. So things are beginning to build up now. I'm going to be on this a minute. Okay. So an item I wanted to nab there was VAT. Okay. Going to set up the VAT, and the great thing with the Irish version is we're now trading long enough that we want to register for VAT. We weren't too sure, do we need to, but now we know we do. The certain thresholds need to go. And it asks you all the Irish questions. Do you want to file monthly? Not many of us file monthly. Bi-monthly, that's very common. Quarterly, it's every 3 months. Every 4 months also, I'm noticing, very common. Half yearly and yearly, less so as time goes on. Okay, there's our friend, the Collector General. He's really interested in our answer. So we'll say bi-monthly. Okay, then you have a choice. Is it the accrual or cash basis? Cash basis would suit most, certainly a retail business, that would be the one to go with. Accrual basis is certainly if you're selling, I believe, over 2 million, you must be the accrual basis, no choice, but cash is very common. So whichever of those you think suits you, and actually gives you, see, it actually gives you a tip here, okay? So if you're billing the customer waiting for them to pay you, that's generally the way. But cash is the right choice if you're counting when you receive the money. All right, just going to put our VAT number in here for now, and I'll leave it with the accrual. Doesn't really matter, it's just a choice for yourself, but it does matter when it comes to paying it. I'm going to leave it with the accrual. Okay, so we're ready to track the VAT. Now the great thing about that is, then, so we were selling coffees there, and now we're going to sell some cakes. So I've just set that up. I'm going to show you the VAT rates here before I shoot off. I'll have a look at the settings. So that's what we just filled out there. Okay. So you know where to find them again in case they need to be changed for any reason. And here's the VAT rates. And the great thing about this is they're all set up for Ireland. Okay. So there's a form that is filled out by Irish businesses once a year called the return of trading details, and it wants to know where you bought everything from. Was it within the EU or outside the EU? Was it within Ireland? Was it outside Ireland? Was it for resale? Was it not for resale? Was it a 23%, 13.5%, exempt, or 0%? Okay. Was it what they call reverse charge? So whoever you bought it off was VAT registered as well, outside of Ireland but inside the EU. Therefore, they did not charge you the VAT from their country, be it France, be it the UK when they were there, or Germany or any of those. So if that's the case, they definitely want to know about that. Or is it someone who's not registered for VAT at all? Okay. So all the VAT rates are explained here. Your accountant will love this. Okay, there's something here for everyone in the audience, and it explains beside each of these what they're for. Okay. So let's say here an important one, EUG, for goods sold to buyers in the EU where VAT was withheld. That would happen where someone has a VAT number in the EU and you're selling or exporting to them. So service or goods. 0%, okay, the goods are vatable, but the rate is 0%. That's buying in raw food, for instance, you know, like chicken or meat, vegetables. Exempt from EU suppliers, might be insurance from outside of Ireland. Exempt within Ireland would be just exempt, which is up there as well. Here, another important one, 0% EU. So they're all here anyway. And you pick these, it'll come up in the big reports. Brilliant stuff. Okay, so we're going to be adding in some bills in a moment. And okay, so let's have a quick look at that right now. So let's just take a look at how we do that. So let's actually look at the last invoice we sent to Leo. And we realize, oh, we should have charged VAT on that. For instance, if you hit this little timer up here, it'll show you all your most recent invoices. Now we've only done one so far. Okay, and we ring up Leo and say, Leo, we forgot to charge your VAT. Now over here on the right, okay, it's out of scope as if we don't have to register, but we found out we did register and we just forgot to do it. And this happens all the time with new people joining QuickBooks, okay? I make little errors, but you'll learn from those, just don't keep making them. So the thing is, the 380 was sold inclusive of tax. You click on that, and then we want to pick our rate. So it'll be the reduced rate, okay, of 13.5% because it's foodstuffs in this case. Okay, so our total is still the same. We haven't asked Leo for any more money, but €9 of it is VAT. So I'll just save that. Okay. And that's done as well. And let's just say let's go to the next one, save a new actually. So we'll do another one. So a member of the general public comes in and here it is. And another customer, he gives his name, he wants an invoice as well. So this is Boris Johnson. But generally you would have a general public up here anyway. Okay, that's him. So Boris came in as well. He was in today also. And he wanted some cakes. No, I haven't entered cakes up there yet. Okay, yeah. So cakes are there. And we're gonna service non-inventory stuff. In this case, put it down. Wonderful cakes. Could be anything there. We all like cakes. Okay, the price is going to be inclusive. We'll say they're €2 each. Sure. Okay, but where do you want it to end up in the account? You want to end up in sales cakes. Okay, and the tax rate again in this one will be the reduced 13.5, and we're going to close that one off. Okay, so but he did another load of people with them, big party, 50 cakes. Okay, we sold them. Okay, I'm going to change that to inclusive there. €2 each. Let's round it up. Yeah. 20, get it down to 2. There's €100, 11.89. Okay, so that's also gone off as well. We didn't bother WhatsApping him, we just closed and we're done. A couple of things here. Go to the dashboard. Again, you'll see the sales building up. There it is. So that's coming up on your phone as well in your WhatsApp. Okay, so nice to see what's happening. Let's just say they start paying us. Times are good. And they put the money straight into our bank account. I've just gone receive payment plus receive payment there. So Leo was the first person in. He wants to pay us the full amount, gives you options here, but he's going to do cash, check, credit card, or direct debit, and you can add on other things. Let's just say EF, electronic funds transfer. He put it straight in. Okay, into the bank account. You put the whole lot in. Now, if he underpaid us, it'll take the 50. But the thing is, it's allocating this money against this invoice. Okay, but no, he paid us a lot of it. Okay, the 76. Let's put that. Okay, and the 76 will turn up there. Let's just save and lodge it. And it's going into that bank account. Okay. Let's just say Boris actually had money on him when he walked in. And he said, I'll pay you with cash actually. Is that acceptable? We said, very. Okay, 100 euros. Okay, and there it is. Again, it's being put in the cash account, which is the same as leaving it on your table. Okay, we are keeping track of it. It's rung up in the till. It's in the accounts. All right. So dashboard. So our money is coming in now. Okay, and you see here the bank account has 1,076, and there's 100 in cash, which we'll get to lodge. And actually, let's just say we want to lodge that money. Okay, you go to plus again, and you transfer it. Now, important distinction here. If you're between your own accounts, you do a transfer. And if it's money coming in from the outside, it's a bank deposit. Very important distinction. So if you're transferring within bank accounts, go for transfer. Otherwise, it's a bank deposit. Okay, but we have 100 euros here in cash. We want to lodge it to the bank account. So we walk down the street and lodge it. Okay, there's 100 euro there. Let's lodge it all. Okay, we go save and close. Okay, now there's nothing left in cash. It's all in the bank. But things are beginning to take shape every time now. So let's have a look at our bills. So remember I said you need to enter the bills first. Okay. Now there's some fantastic apps that work with QuickBooks that if you photograph them with your phone and it's programmed correctly, it'll zoom into here and put it all in the right place. Okay. So check out the App Store. But let's just say we're buying off Coffee Colombia. Okay. With our supplier, Great Coffee Nation, and with them buying coffee purchases. Okay, it's kind of a cost of goods sold area. That'll be down here. Let's find it there. Yeah, you got here's the account type. These would be mirrored in the supplies of materials, mirrored in the chart of accounts. Okay, so coffee purchases. Jumped away from there. Let's put it back in. There it is. Okay, Colombian coffee. Coming in probably at 0%, but from Colombia. Now let's just say we bought in a small amount, just have a nice P&L. Okay, this is the VAT-free amount, but it's coming from outside of Ireland, outside the EU as well. So we can look at the rates here, but effectively we found that the Colombian coffee was being imported into France. We bought it from France. So it's purchases from the EU suppliers at a reduced rate. So let's go back and put the right rate on that bill. A great way to find it is hit bill. There's our bill here. So it's bought from within the EU at 0%. There it is there. Okay. I'll add another bill because there's bills coming in every minute. Let's just say this is one of the phone suppliers. We'll go with Vodafone. Okay, you can add in their emails and everything like that. That's for telephone. Okay. Yeah, I'll put in telephone there on that one. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we look at the bill, and it's for 25 euros. Got a great deal with them, and that might be inclusive of VAT. There, maybe the standard rate. Okay, 23% in this country. Still, but it's not for resale. So R is for resale, standards for non-resale. Okay. And then let's just say we bought some great equipment from another EU supplier. It could be from Germany. Let's call it German Kitchens. This was a piece of equipment. So this was in the EU. And they have a VAT number and we have a VAT number. So, and so property, plant and equipment fits neatly into that. So that's the barista machine. Might have been 3,000, but don't come cheap. Okay, it's not for resale. Okay, so we're going to go standard. Okay, there. Okay, so but it's not for resale. What we want is an EU purchase and reverse charge. So let's have a look at our VAT rates for a moment. Now, if we bought this in Ireland, it would be at the standard rate, but because we have the VAT rate, okay, it's going to be RCG, which is this one here, goods. And all these VAT rates are explained, okay? So you see here, it does what's called a reverse charge. So because we bought it from within the EU at 0%, our VAT man wants to know what VAT we would have paid, okay? That is 690, and then he takes it off on the sales side. So you don't pay any extra VAT, but he wants to know what he's down. And so save that there. Okay, so there's 3 bills that's entered. Now let's just say we're going paying them. Normally people, when you buy goods and services off them, they like to get paid. So I'll draw your attention here to the left side. What account we're going to pay them? We're going to pay them out of our own account. And okay, we'll pay the Columbia, and we'll pay the Vodafone, and the German kitchen people will wait a little while. So if it's a check, you put the check number into this reference area. See here, it's written the total here, 75 of those two. I'm going to put DD or EFT. DD is direct debit, EFT is electronic funds transfer, whatever you're comfortable with. Use it for plain English. The great thing, one of the great things about QuickBooks is that all the customers have their real names, all the suppliers have their real names, and you can reformat the reports to be a term that you're familiar with. Some people don't understand what accounts payable is, but you put money owing to suppliers, they get that. So when you're doing that chart of accounts, you can rephrase items. Same with money owing to you, and on the balance sheet, it's great to have some terms there. So I'm just going to go save on those two bills we paid here, just to show you what happens. Okay, now I couldn't pay the bill unless it was in there, so we had put in the bill, all right? And the second thing is, I'm just going to come away a little bit and show you a couple of features that are really cool. One of the items we had up here was a check, okay? But what it actually does is, the check is just a form of payment, you know? You write the name of who's getting it, how much is involved, the date, and all that, okay? And there's no check there at the moment, all right? So let's just pretend there was. Say I paid AIB. Okay, let's just say it was bank charges. Yeah, bank charges already in that nice chart of accounts. Say it was like €5. Keeping the number small here, just easy. There's that's one of the things that is actually exempt, 0%. Okay, everything's happening today. Check number 1. Okay, and I go to expenses here. This quarter, these will all come together. See on our expenses here, €75. This quarter could be this month to date. Give you a lot of options. This month, same thing. €5 bank charges. If I click in here to the coffee purchases. Okay, it brings up that bill we got from Coffee Columbia. Let's click again, see what happens. Because it's important to know where your money's going. Okay, so you have the bill there. Okay, and you can see here a payment was made on the 14th of July. Okay, if I click in there and say, I want to look at that payment, what actually happened there? Okay, it brings up the bill payment to Coffee Columbia from this bank account to direct debit. You might have a different reference number there, that's fine. And it was paying that bill. So we know what money is paying what bill. Okay, leads right back to that. Show you another couple of little things. So there's the bill. Okay, we entered a little while ago. That's going to jump up for you now. There it is. That's the one we entered in. Now, if you have a particular app, or you have a scanner or anything like that, or you photograph the bills on the QuickBooks app with your phone. An attachment for the bill will be sitting right there. And I'll show you, because I can just go get one. Okay, so let's say it's that one there. There's a nice little one. Okay. Cabinets and all that. You can keep copies of your bills right here. And if you add your user as your accountant, one of the users, they'll see what you're seeing. Your bookkeeper will see what you're seeing. Okay, and you can limit and alternate permissions as to who can see what, right? But certainly you'll want your accountant to see everything, and they will be asking you for these documents. If I click on that document, this is the bill for, in that case, a book. Up it comes. Very good. So there you are. It's a nice little one there. So no, I want to save. Okay, it'll always remind you like that as well. Okay, now just while we're looking at these areas as well, I'm just going to do a bank deposit. Let's just say we borrowed €2,000. A lot of businesses need cash flow, and in this case it was from Bank of Ireland. Okay, they were the ones who had the best deal going for us. So we received from Bank of Ireland. Who are they? Their supplier. I'm just gonna, I know this isn't in the charter accounts, loan from Bank of Ireland. Call it what it is. It'll be way easier to know what you're doing. So I'm just going to look down here. It's going to ask me what type of thing this was, this money coming in. And in our case, it was a current liability. All right, we'll be paying it reasonably currently. Okay, I'll just save that. Where will these things appear in a moment? Okay, and that was €2,000. No tax on a loan. If you borrow 2,000, they'll want back more than that. Okay, it's out of scope on that one, all right? So I'll show you the bank deposits, the checks, the receive payments, and the paying bills now. Okay, so there's a lot of transactions going on here. So I'm going to click dashboard, and this is really what you'll see every time you log in. You'll always land on this dashboard, and it gives you a picture of where you're at. So we're seeing money there on the right in the bank. We're seeing expenses going out. We're seeing income. Hopefully the green is always bigger than the turquoise. Okay. And what's happened in the last 30 days or the last week, and you've got lots of choices. So it's great to know how you're doing. And you can tell a lot about people with how they spend their money. Okay. And this keeps you on the ball. All right. So then just to come back to the banking. Now remember, the bank is downloading all the time what's in the account, right? So just click on banking here, and we were about to connect our bank earlier. Okay, so every 90 days you're going to have to reconnect because it's a security part. But here's our bank account again on our dashboard. So I'm going to click in. We want to have a look at, does all this make sense? And lo and behold, I bet you recognize all these now. So there's the 1,000 we had at the start. There's the 2,000 we borrowed. There's the bills we paid. Okay. There's the money we received from our customers. Okay, and there's meant to be 3,096 in here. And let's just pretend the €100 cash from Boris just hadn't been in the bank when we got news of what was there, in the bank account. So I'm just going to do a reconciliation. So we rang the bank in the afternoon and said, how much is in the bank? And they said 2,996. Oh, great. Well, our books had a bit more for the person who ran down to lodge the money. So I just put today down. Okay, there's no more bank charges or anything like that. So it brings you up here, and all the bank reconciliation is matching what's on the QuickBooks with what's in the bank statement. That's all it is. Okay. So we had 1,000 at the start, we're 2,996 now. So there's the 2,000. We look at our bank statement, we see that. We see these items going out. We don't see the 100 coming in, but we do see the 76 from Leo. There's no difference now. So what is in the statement is now on QuickBooks. There's €100 that was lodged this afternoon, but it hasn't made it through to our account yet. So we'll get that on the next reconciliation. Okay, that's all reconciliation is. No big worry at all. It's just matching up what is on your bank statement with what's in QuickBooks. It goes on all the time. Okay, let's have a look at reports. Now, there's lots in here. Okay, and you need to pick what's important to you. And the great thing is you can schedule these to come to your email or come up on your phone or look at them there. I'm just going to scroll down for a second. So who owes you money? Business overview, favorites. So profit and loss balance sheet are two big favorites. Who owes you money is a big favorite. Okay, so let's pick a couple that, see these ones that are starred. If I like another one down here, let's just say I want, what would be a nice one? Sales by customer or something like that. There, I'll just pick that one. There, okay, and I scroll up the top. It's up there now. So the ones you want to see, they're very handy here. And let's just pretend, okay, I want to describe this one a certain way. Okay, so there's the two guys who are in this afternoon. I might just like to change the name of that. Okay, sales by customer summary sounds a little bit wooden. Maybe I'm feeling like that. Who we sold to today. Okay. And once you've set up like that, you can choose what parts you want to show. Okay, we've got the dates there. Date prepared, maybe I don't want to show that. Time prepared, maybe I don't want to show that. Okay. Okay, just run the report. Who we sold today, there's the customer names, and there's the total. Now, if you save customization, okay, and you need to send this to a group, okay, we'll call it myself. This could be particular managers, could be particular staff members, something like that. So I'm just going to save that. Oh, so saved into custom, but this is the killer. This is really good. So I just clicked on reports again, and all our reports, there's no change there. When you click on this one here, custom reports, it's sitting in there and it's for me. Now it gets even better. You see this unscheduled here? If I click here, you can export it to PDF and have it ready for a meeting. Okay, but if I click on edit there, okay, you can set an email schedule that it will email you as often as you want and email others as well. So say you want to get that daily. Okay, so let's go to me here. Okay, who we sold to today. And there might just be a few things you want to know. Many business owners want to know a couple of things. What we've got in the bank, and who we owe money to. You might also want to know how much VAT they owe. That's always a concern. Okay, and you can rephrase this if you want. What you want to know most. Okay, so that's going to start today and it'll keep on going. Okay, and I go save and close. And that is going to email off. You see there every day. Okay, so a great way to keep yourself posted without having to ask. Okay, that's a great thing. Now if I go back into those reports again, I mean the ones that will be looked at really closely will be the profit and loss and balance sheet. I'm going to show you the balance sheet now because this is going to start to mean something to you now. So there's 1,000 in the bank account on June 30th, and we started off with that. If I come up here, different ways of phrasing the, is it last month, last year, today? Okay, let's go with this year to date. I always like that one. Okay, so that's from the start of the year up to now. Let's run that. Now, balance sheet is a comparison of what you own and owe. Okay, so there's our 3,096 in the bank that we have in the bank. We've 3,000 here from the property, plant, equipment. We owe 3,000. We had 1,000 at the start, and we've made 79 euros. I'll show you that in a minute. And there's the VAT. So this is all starting to make sense. Also, if you want to rephrase something, great to do it. What you own and owe. That's what a balance sheet is. But sometimes the plain English it helps non-financial people to understand what's happening. Okay. And there's a lot of pence here. You can knock those out. You go into customize. Click without cents. Okay. Just makes it a little bit tidier. Okay. But if the pence are important, certainly leave them in. There's the VAT, which is the difference between the VAT we received from our customers and the VAT that was on the bills we purchased. I'll show you the VAT reports in a moment. Okay, so there's your balance sheet. And we'll just have a quick look at the profit and loss, because other familiar items that are familiar now will be appearing. So you start by looking at the time period. It was last month. Let's go this year to date. So because we had all our transactions down for today. So there's our sales of cakes. There's the coffee purchases, and there's some charges. We've made €79 today. That could be 790, a different type of day, 7,900, and so on. Okay, figures are irrelevant. It's a matter of keeping track of what's coming in and what's going out. Okay, and there's that 79.74 we showed you a moment ago. The figures in the profit and loss, if you're registered for VAT, are always stated exclusive of VAT. It's the same in the balance sheet. Okay, and I'm just gonna, well, they're saved at the moment. Okay, I'll save it anyway again in that group. Okay, because you might want to get these emailed every day as well. There's that one. And we're just going to have a quick look at the balance sheet in a moment. There were some terms there that might seem jargony, but so there was the balance sheet. So let's go down to our chart of accounts, which is the map of your accounts, okay? And the items that we've put through QuickBooks today are ending up in there. So with the bank account, you recognize that. See, there's our numbers here, property, plant, and equipment. Say you just want to have it a little bit more descriptive. Okay, so we go to the name. Nothing wrong with property, plant, and equipment, but let's just say we want it to be the barista machine. Just change it on there. I'll go down where it said loan for Bank of Ireland. That's what it says on the tin. And there's that. I just want to have a look. I see accounts payable. Another one seems to throw people the odd time, that word, money owed to suppliers. And this is making QuickBooks, it's very user friendly anyway, but it makes it even more so. So I've just dipped in there. You don't do that every day. You do that when you see a need, you know, but the impact is huge. I'm going to custom reports. Yeah, that's all nicely saved there. Let's have a look at the balance sheet in particular. So I wanted to amend some of the words. There's the business bank account. Just want to go this year to date, and I'll save it. Okay, there you're seeing words that might mean something. There's long-term asset, barista machine. There's your business bank account. We labeled that earlier. Money owed to suppliers. And if someone says, who do I owe that money to? You click on the 3,000. It'll bring you right back to the bill, okay? So there's all our suppliers, okay? But you might recall we paid some of them, okay? So we don't owe anything. We did owe 50, we did owe 25, we paid it and paid it. There's the 3,000, and someone says German Kitchens. I don't remember that. You click on the name German Kitchens, and this will drill right back down to the bill we entered, okay? There it is, and if you've the bill saved right there, you can actually look at the actual paperwork. Fantastic, okay? And all we've done is enter one bill, enter one sale, okay? So you enter it once here, you can look at it, you can amend it, you can email it, you can print it. And you see how attractive the sales invoices are, okay? So that's the report area. Oh, mighty. Now, if it's a case that you want to keep track of stock, this can handle it very well. And with every accounting and stock system, you've got to keep the information going into it as to what you have at the start, what you've bought and what you've sold, and then compare what's meant to be there at the end, what is there at the end. That's how stock works, okay? So let's just, in this instance, we'll say that they've specialty mugs, okay? So they put into them, everybody coming to town wants to see these mugs. I'm going to add a new one. Okay. So we'll call these coffee house mugs. We'll just call it mugs. Okay, everybody wants one. And speciality mugs. There'll be different colors, different times of the year. Okay, let's save that category there. Actually, that's to be inventory. Okay, I'll turn on inventory tracking. So I should have gone down here to inventory there. So it's on now. Okay, very easy. When you go off course on this, yeah. So we're now on the inventory initial quantity on hand. We'll say 0 as of today. The order point might be when we're down to 10. Okay, and we want to keep track of them in stock. All right, it'll also ask you what you sell it at. So we say we sell them for 20 euros, inclusive of tax. The tax in that case is at 23%. There it is. Okay. As we sell them for, we say we buy them for 8 euros. Okay, and that's expense account cost of sales. So we might want to be a bit more specific. Go mugs, just to have a real rundown of these accounts. Again, it's going to set it up for me here. Yeah, no problem with that. Okay. That's purchase tax on buying them in. We'll say we buy them in from abroad and they're actually ECG. Okay. RCG, sorry, RCG. Just going to overwrite what I need. Oh yeah, I see it. See it there now. RCG are there. We've no preferred supplier. Okay, so that's, so the mugs are here now. Specialty mugs. See that? So let's, now we buy some in, buy them in from the mug man. So the bill comes in. Okay, he's a new supplier. The mug man. Okay, now you don't put in his email address, his number, and that's all that goes in the details. Good to have the address there if you're keeping track of them. Okay. Now you're looking for mug purchases there, yeah. Okay, and now what happens is, so here with the mug man, and the important thing is to look down at item. There's two types of things here. There's item and category, right? So the item is the one when you're keeping track of stock that you go with. All right. So let's go down and add that in. And so when you go down to item, you click on specialty mugs, comes up about the words you put in. So we want to, we have a minimum reorder point. When we're down to 10, we order again. Let's say we're ordering 50 of them in. That's the price of them. We're ordering them from France. And I'll just put in France up here just so everyone understands. That's the reason for the VAT code. Okay. So those are the goods for resale that are bought within the EU. Okay. And then it's the reverse charge. This is fantastic. Fantastic for your return and trading details and VAT forms. Okay. So let's close that there. So and here I'm just on the sales and the products. Okay, and it shows what's going on. No low stock. We now have 50 items in stock. Remember, we started off with 0, reorder point was 10. And if we sell a few, just to show you how it adjusts for the stock there. So we're going to do a sale. And it's just a load of people got off a bus. It's the general public, which are captioned to use when you deal in the retail. You're not going to ask everybody for their name. It's general public, but obviously not going to get all their individual details. As also today, all they wanted to do was mugs. Okay. So there's the mugs, and they bought, let's say, 22 of them. The inclusive of tax price was €20. It breaks into the exclusive amount here automatically. It works out the VAT. Okay, and sale that. Close that. So we've put through the sale of these mugs. Now let's have a look at our stock level again. Okay, it's updating it now. And here you see we sold 22, we're down to 28. Okay. We also will notice that in our reports area, it's updated for the margin we've made in it. So I'm just going to click on profit and loss. I'll just go today in this case, make it simple. Okay, there's the sale of mugs, 357 excluding, okay, and that was the associated cost for 22 mugs that we sold. Okay, so they were bought at €8 and they're 176. So profits are rising. Okay, and you're getting emailed that every day. Okay, so that's a fantastic thing. Just while we're on that, I'm going to show you the tax area. It wasn't appropriate up until now, but the various reports they're here, okay, because this keeps track of everything. Okay, and this one, okay, there's a profit and loss. We've seen that a few times. Let's have a look at the RTD. This is the one that gives accountants and business owners the nightmare. You see, it breaks it down into all the different categories. And if you look at a return of trading details, RTD report that you get from the taxman, it's very difficult to understand. This does the figures for you. Now, this is mega stuff. Standard acquisitions from the EU. Okay, reduced what ones we bought at the lower rate. Okay, all the different rates that you need are here. And if you don't fill out this return of trading details report properly, because the taxman compares what you say you imported to what the companies you imported from reported that they exported to you, there's a comparison. If they don't match up, the least you'll get is a letter, but you're more likely to get a visit. Okay, and when they're out, you know, if this checks out, they'll look around. They could be there for a day or two, taking you away from what you really want to be. Okay, so that's a major one there with the taxes. Also, the other thing with the VAT is to file the VAT. Now, what does that mean? So I'm looking here, this taxable sales summary. Let's have a look. I'm just going to do year to date. Okay, now this also breaks down. This is a useful report, but when everything is going in to QuickBooks, that's the loan because it's not relevant. You don't want to add it twice. So if you have a bill and you enter it on QuickBooks, claim the VAT in it, and report that, that's fine. But just say you have another copy or you weren't too sure had you entered it before, it'll spot a duplicate. But secondly, once you have the VAT filed, okay, it won't claim VAT again, but you might find a late bill that related to, say, mid-June and say, oh my God, I forgot to include that in QuickBooks. You still enter it into QuickBooks. And what QuickBooks does, it goes back and looks around, and any bill that hasn't internally had the stamp file in it, it'll grab the VAT from back in June and report it in July and August, okay? In other words, it'll claim any VAT that was missed. That's as simple as I can put it. But it's a great feature, okay? So coming back to this area again, and we want to look at the returns we're going for. It'll give you open, filed, and paid. So open means we haven't finalized them. Filed means we've sent the figures in, and then obviously filed and paid means we've actually paid it, okay? And look here. Just going to file. We're going to have a look at the VAT return now, just for July. And for the VAT return we're dealing with is currently the July-August one. So you'll see here, it shows the money collected on sales, money paid on purchases, and it's allowed for the reverse charge here. because we didn't collect that much on sales. It's just that as imports, you've got to report the extra sales VAT here and counteract it with the extra purchase VAT here, and I'll show you now. So, but it's only 98.54 owing. We have that in the bank. Okay, and let's view the summary. Let's see what we're looking at. And the thing is, you can easily trace it back to the records behind it. Okay, so land up now. The VAT on sales, VAT on purchases, there's the 98. Value of goods received from other EU countries. That was those mugs and that machine. Let's look at the sales here. I'll click in there. So there's the Varag card, the Boris Johnson and German public sales. Okay, and then there's German kitchen. Now we never sold that, but we have to report it under reverse charge, and this is why it's so important. And the Mugman purchases. Okay. So QuickBooks is phenomenal on the VAT now. We put a lot of work into it. And here as well is the VAT we claimed on our Vodafone bill. There's no VAT on that loan. German kitchens and the Mugman. Again, that's reverse charge, so it counteracts, so we're not overpaying our VAT. Okay, that's called a reverse charge. Okay, so there's your T1 for the VAT 3, T2, VAT payable 98. Okay, and it fills in these other boxes, E1, E2, that leads to the RTD. Now, it sounds like I'm talking jargon, but if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if you're a business owner, you may also know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, you'll have heard the terms. Okay, so great to have this sorted. All right, that's the VAT. So I showed you that there because you now understand the transactions that compile that. Okay, billable time and expenses. Yeah, so timesheet. See here, weekly timesheet. Now, if you've team members that all they do is record time, they've no other involvement in this type of admin, you can set them up as a single time activity. We invite them, and they just enter their time, and that's fine. But if people are doing a few things on it, which is this one, so let's just say we want to add another person in here, and say it could be Donald Trump. Imagine him working for you, and I'm sure he'd be great. And he's the employee. So basically, what customers was he working on? So he might have been working on Boris, serving coffees. Okay, what were people at? Okay, today he might do 5 hours of that. Then with Leo. Okay, could be washing dishes. Okay, people can enter this every day, another 2 hours there, and you get the idea. So you save that. Okay, and this is one of my favorite reports, just to know what everyone is at, because you lose track. In reports down here, you make this a favorite as well, the time by employee summary. And you can have as many employees as you want. Okay, I skipped by it there. I did. It's here under employees, time activities. Okay, and there was today what everyone was at. So, if you're paying them, keeping track of their hours, paying by the day, by the hour, even if you're predicting ahead, you can go in there and virtually put up a rota here, I'll just star that one because you might want to see it again. Okay, and then we're at the top for us. Okay, but certainly when you go into this plus a weekly timesheet, there'll be a few other employees there. You might have, you could have, we call just have a new man, Eddie Hegarty. Okay, I have a few of them there, and they might be working on other customers that you haven't come into contact with yet. It would be tour buses. Okay. And they were prepping the food area, just to know what people are doing. And this only takes a small bit of time, and it's great when you're paying people. And also for employees, it's great because at least they have able to keep track of the tasks they've done. That'll be cut on the hop. All of those items. When I go to the top here, they're now in time activities by employee detail. It's a great system. You can give people, see that the two of them there coming up. So when you're paying with this time, important to know what you're getting for it too. And with expenses, if you bought an item, it could be employee went off somewhere, paid for parking perhaps, and we want to rebuild somebody for that. Okay, important item there. So I click on it. So the supplier might be, say, Dublin City Council. They control the parking in the region we went to. Okay. We have parking charges set up. If I don't, we'll set it. Yeah. Parking charges. Okay, that's set a service in this case. And we need to make sure that's, yeah. So it could be the Dublin Quays. How to get parking around there. So it might just be €25 to park for the day. Okay, that tends to be an exempt. Well, actually not always. There can be VAT on that as well. You've got to watch that one. So, but it's, in this case, it's for resale. I'm going to bill it. I'm going to click billable here. Now, when I did the setup at the start, I clicked billable expenses. You mightn't have known it so much, and we'll say it related to Boris's trip. Okay, so I save that. And it's just for keeping track of reimbursable expenses. Expenses a business owner may run up on behalf of other people. So you might have agreed your fee, but there's other items you paid for. So we say, Boris, we forgot to bill you for something. We organize the parking for you down the street. Over on the right here has billable expense. See that? Add that. It's going to bring it in here, and the VAT is already included in that 25. Actually, didn't we do it? Okay. So that's inclusive of tax. The tax in that one was standard. Okay. So 467. So when we send him his bill, because he paid for the parking from down the street, then he should have no problem paying it. Okay. You can see I have our new outlets opening soon. We have our total, we have our VAT. It's gone to Boris there. There's our logo. If I come back, there's our bill. It couldn't be simpler. It's great. Okay. And okay, so last thing too, you might have a separate project. Okay. Something new that's going on. Maybe we're doing a bit of gourmet food or something. Vegan area. So if you're setting up a project, it's just to keep track of it, you know. So the project name, let's call it the pizza area. So we were branching out. And we might be putting, so is it for a particular customer? So generally it is the general public in this case. They're all mad into pizzas all of a sudden. Okay. So I write down, keep track of what we make versus what it costs. And you can allocate expenses and sales to this project, okay? So great, if you're a building company, you can do a building, different building zones can be different projects. If you're a factory, different departments can go on. If you're a coffee shop, again, you can have different departments as well, or different units. So it's keeping track of these things that's important. So we're in the project zone here, okay? And nothing has gone into it yet. So, but if I go, there's a few things we could add to new builds or anything, but let's just say, go back to my dashboard. When you lose your way, come into that dashboard. And let's just say with the general public, I'll do a sales receipt, which goes straight into the cash or the bank. So do it with the general public, payment method. In this case, it's a big check into the bank account. And very nice. Okay, we'll stay again as well. Okay. So when you see here general public, and I clicked it there, it has a sub zone pizza zone. And today's So we add up our Z reading on the till at the end of the day, gives us the total of everything. And when it came to pizzas, again, as new products come on in sales areas, you can add them here. You don't always have to go back into the chart of accounts. Okay. So department sales, inclusive of tax. Let's say the total, so it'd be the reduced rate, 13.5 for these items. First, then we make them. Okay, say we sold 44 pizzas at €11 each. Okay. Just change that to inclusive. It was exclusive there, so 484. Okay, you can send that to people if you wanted to. All right. I'm just going to come back to the project area. You'll see the income is beginning to come up again. It just given us our track on that. I'm going to, just do a check. Let's say it's wages. Okay, so let's do a check for wages. So we had someone working there all day, and her name was Mary Jo. So I pay Mary Jo at the end of the day. She's an employee. Put in our email address here, just to click in there to show you what goes on. Name, address, email address, PPS number. Great place to keep all of the details. And again, your accountant or bookkeeper can access this area easily. Okay, so I'll get back to Mary Jo there. I didn't add in all our stuff. And okay, put in the wage expenses. Jumps up there. Let's just say we paid her €100 for the day. So check number 2, it could be check 500214, whatever's on the check. Or if it's a direct debit, you put that in. And the project, what was the project? Pizza zone, okay? Because we want to see what we're making in that area versus what it's costing. I'll close that. I was asking for a tax code. There's no tax code on that one. Out of scope, okay. Lo and behold, I click on projects. Okay, it's keeping track. All right. So you can see down here, 76.5% profit margin. That's what came in, that what went out. And this is going for all customers, and everything is coming together. Okay. So just a little great, and you could have 2 or 3 little projects there, and you're allocating your expenses and your sales to that area. So that's the key to the coffee house. So what I've tried to show you is the importance of the setup, which literally takes 5 minutes to kick off. Okay. And then get to know your dashboard. And really after that, once you're set up on your sales, your expenses, your VAT, and you're putting them in the right way, and attach your bills. So you can attach the bills, you don't need to keep the files anymore, and you can WhatsApp the sales, and you're able to connect your bank account, and everything coordinates. So QuickBooks will learn, and as it learns and you apply different rules to it, it will match up the bills that are coming in with the money that's paying them. Okay, and it'll also do the same thing with the money from your suppliers. It'll recognize what's coming in from customers, and if it can match it to a received payment, it will. So it'll keep doing the work for you. It'll reduce accountancy costs, reduce bookkeeping time, and free them up for other tasks that are more value adding. So I hope you enjoy that. Okay, great choice moving to QuickBooks Online. The Ireland version is going to knock your socks off. Bye for now. See you soon.